Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Parshas Va'Eschanan75. I'd like to share two different thoughts with you this week. First, there'll be something very short, and then a mashal from the Dubna Magid. We have in this parsha, we have the parsha of Shma, Shma, and Va'Eschanan75, those parts of that tefillah that we say twice a day, morning and night. We have the concept that when something is written, the name of Hashem, with Yud K, Vav K, with those letters, that represents God's Midas HaChesed, His kind, Kaviyachal aspects. And if it's Elokim, that's representing Midas Hadin, a more judgmental perspective on Hashem. And the Yakar brings down that we learn a lesson from the fact that it says Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, but it says Shema with Yud K Vav K, and then at the beginning Shema Yisrael Yud K Vav K, Hashem Elokeinu, lashon of Elokim, judgment, Hashem Echad. But the reality, even though one part is Chesed and one part is Din, it's all coming from the same one Hashem, as we mentioned a few weeks ago. The importance of Yichud Hashem, knowing that Hashem is all one, there's nothing beyond one point, it's the unity of Hashem. So even when something, we have to learn that even when something seems like it might be bad, it's all come from a good source, and only afterwards will we find out the reason and recognize that it was all good, whether it appears as Midas Arachmim or it appears as Midas Adin. Pasuk tells us, V'ahavtas Hashem Elokecha, you shall love Hashem your God, V'hayu advarim ha'ela, al levavcha, al levavcha. So the Yalkut Shimoni says that V'ahavta, how do you love? How do you command someone to love? So Tamid Loma Zed Hayu Advarim Ha'ela. There'll be these things, al levavcha, etc. The question is, how does the word Vayu Advarim Ha'ela answer the question how you're going to love Hashem? So the Dubna Magid tells a mashal about a person. When you have a guest, an honored guest coming to your house, what do? You get rid of all the junk around so that he'll only see the good stuff, and he'll think positive of you. So it's the same thing. Before you want to do tshuva, when you want to love Hashem, when you want to love Hashem, what you have to do is you have to get rid of your bad stuff. You have to get rid of the physical aspect of your life. You got to get rid of the sins part. So it says Yazov ish Darkov ish Aven Machshvosav, that at first a man leaves his bad ways, and then Yashuv el Hashem v'rachameu, and then he returns to Hashem, and he will have mercy on him. First you get rid of the derech harasha, and then you join Hashem. So the Dubna Magid says there's a mashal when you have a bird cage and you have a bird inside it. If you open up the door of the cage, you don't have to take the bird out. Automatically the bird's going to want to go out and fly out by itself. So it's the same thing with the neshama. The neshama, when you cover it up, you trap it with the gashmias, then it's trapped. But if you leave the derech rishus, if you leave the bad ways, then automatically the neshama will go up to shemayim. The Dubna Magid gives another mashal on this topic, and he says that there was once a villager, and he went to the city. He went to Fifth Avenue in New York City, and he wanted to buy some luxury items, and he goes into a garment store, and he wants to buy a fancy linen suit, linen coat, and the merchant sees him, sizes up the size right away, picks it out for him, shows it to him, and when the villager wants to put it on, he's still wearing his winter items, and he's still wearing his older, smelly garments, and he can't even put his hand into the sleeve. And he starts getting upset at the merchant. He says, "What, you trying to make fun of me? You trying to give me a suit that doesn't fit?" So the merchant said, "What are you doing? You have to get rid of those bad clothing first, and then you put it on, and then it's going to fit perfectly." So the nimshal for this, the explanation of this, is saying that first you have to get rid of, Hashem gave us He gave us the Torah, the light of the Torah, to act as a kasona, as a garment for us. But if we have all our bad stuff with this, if we're still doing rishis, we're still full of gashmias and trying to enjoy every single pleasure, then then we're not going to be able to put the clothing on of the Torah. What we have to do is we have to get rid of our gashmius, reduce our physicality, and then, as the pasuk says, "V'havtas Hashem Elokecha, v'hayu advarim ha'el al levavcha." It's got to be directly on your heart. Nothing should separate. No physicality. When you start doing the mitzvahs without the physical distractions, then you're going to be able to bring yourself to Ahavtas Hashem. You'll realize the goodness that comes from Hashem, and of course, you're going to love Hashem. So let's just remember that the lesson that Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, that both what might seem like it's good and what might seem like it's not so good is really all for good, because Hashem loves us and we're commanded to love Him back. So thank you for listening. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful Shabbos.